Greetings, loved ones. It's been a while, and a lot has transpired in the time since I last spoke here. I have to say that times are confusing for all of us, really confusing, because this violence and aggression is being superimposed on our lives from outside. We are under attack through no fault of our own. But with our complicity, unfortunately, we are tolerating it in the sense that we have not put our foot down collectively on it, on the issue of government overreach, on the issue of federal power, on the issue of the imperial presidency, on the issue of corruption. Just, we have not put our foot down. We watch like it's a spectacle, because that is how it's presented and that's how it's produced for us. But ask anybody who's freezing cold and protesting, it's anything but a spectacle. For all of us now, it's become concrete. Now that is a difference. The aggression is insecure. Their aggressiveness is insecure. They're still couching it in terms of imaginary actions of law enforcement, but they're very, very close to simply saying we're imposing martial law because we can. Very, very close. This is all acclimatization. And that's why I say we're complicit in that we're tolerating it. We're complicit in that we're watching it ramp up. The stakes are growing much higher. I think I've mentioned the goal of this regime is to impose martial law. And they really need to do it now. Need to ready people for it to happen this spring, because these elections are not going to go well. And since they're not interested in democratic institutions or democratic practices or democracy at all, certainly they're very disinterested in continuing America as we know it. They're prepared to crack down, and I don't think there's any reason for any of us to believe that the tactics and practices that we see abroad are beneath the individuals who are controlling the levers of federal military and police power. No, they're prepared to torture you any day of the week because you are not a part of their plan. We're not a part of the plan for the better America that doesn't include us. And by us, I mean any goddamn person on the street who looks sideways. I mean, it's a scam. They're turning us on each other, and it's a scam. This is a Russian scam. It's a Chinese scam. It's an American mobster scam. It's a ripoff. And we're kind of falling for it by letting these punks run around in our streets. Now, seems like people are rising up. Seems like people are fighting back. Small numbers of people in communities struggling to keep up with this onslaught with nothing but whistles. Obviously, we've seen the results of that. We need mass action. We need everybody to participate. Everybody. Now, that isn't something that we've really seen practiced in this country. There have been times when there have been mass protests, and they've been brutally cracked down upon. The last time they put military in the streets, they shot people. They've shot people every time they've done it. With the possible exception of the civil rights era actions by the Kennedys. But they would have. They were ready to. That's what they're for. So all these guns, all this Second Amendment bullshit, people thinking, oh, I'm going to fight back, that's insane. There is no shooting war that anybody's going to win. A default to violent conflict is a admission of total failure. You might just give the fuck up. No one wins. It's obvious to everyone in terms of the conflicts we see in Ukraine, in Somalia, in Sudan. It's obvious that, Palestine, where does it go? It goes to more petrochemical warfare. We are in the petrochemical state. We are in the death throes of the petrochemical state. The democratization of energy is the threat they are acting against. The democratization of energy by the abandonment of fossil fuels as a principal form of energy on the planet. This is not going to be tolerated by the petrochemical state and the petrochemical world crime syndicate. You think that oil flows around all legal, over the seas, from Texaco to Citgo to Exxon to the Black Fleet of oil is what's sustaining warfare all over the world. And the warfare has to happen in order for the oil to be necessary. Think about that. These conflicts are almost all driven by a need to prop up the price of oil, which has achieved both insane highs and insane lows in just the last few years. The instability of the market means warfare is the only way. Venezuela is a big mob operation to prop up oil prices and to prop up the southern refining facilities in the United States. It's open use of the military in the same way that taking Hawaii for the sugar industry was. We have a history of this. This is nothing new. What would be new would be for us to stop it. That would be new, instead of going along with it. You have to want to, though. You have to want to not. You have to put yourself in discomfort. We're already in a lot of discomfort, and I'm feeling like historically what it takes for people to rise up en masse, general strike, is a level of discomfort that is very high. Hunger, mass deprivation leads to mass action, but I submit that the frog boiling slowly is a metaphor that's overused and yet so apt. And they're boiling us in algorithms. They're boiling us carefully and boiling us in water that's just made just for us. And so consumerism is what's driving all of it. And we're the ones whose blood is used to fuel it all. So when we say no more blood, even for a second, they have a stroke. that's metaphors carved right out of my personal life. So don't believe the hype when they start talking. We have to fight back by arming ourselves, by training, by creating militias for our neighborhoods to fight back against ICE. That's insane. We have to act en masse to shut it down now, or basically, eat it. So talk to your neighbors, talk to one another, talk to your family, talk about what it means to not work the levers of the machine for some time it takes to fight back and stop them. All of us go out and we don't come back until the regime is out. There are examples galore in history, in very recent history. There's also examples of total failure, of overreach or of near success, and then a retrenchment and a like what happened in Hong Kong is just, it's like gut-wrenching. It's murderous. The Chinese have that to deal with. They number very, very large numbers, and they're dealing with a much more repressive state. But for many of the same reasons, they're not rising up. We share more than we don't culturally in terms of how the state suppresses us. So believe the pain, believe your own pain, share it, don't hold it in, and turn that energy that it takes to share and that you gain from sharing into collective action to throw ourselves on the gears of war. One way or another, we're on those gears, and I'd like to think grinding them to a halt would be a good use of my meat. Gandhi had his issues, but he was right about the strategy and the tactic. It worked. It worked. There's no guarantee that anything subsequent would be better. It's not a guarantee that somehow we're going to march hand in hand into a panacea. No, we march hand in hand into chaos. But it's a chaos that we are commanding on a certain level, that we're sharing, certainly, which is very different from a chaos that's imposed, a chaos that's dropped in from the sky the way it is now by manipulative sons of bitches and their minions. It's taking a lot of people. This is not a small group of people. It's taking a lot of people thinking this is the way to go, that this is the way to live, this is the way to make a living, this is a way to get over, this is a way to rip off, this is a way to get your way, to get yours, to put them down, to kill the fucking bitch. But we're the fucking bitch, and we're not going that easy. Love and comfort in this hideous time. Let's fight on together by saying no to this fighting together. Love to all. Until next time, let's watch out while we're walking on this warpath.